Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Men You Love to podcast. I am Kat, your host. I'm sitting here with my dear friend Desmond again for another episode. Today, we're going to catch up and see what Desmond has been up to. And I think we're going to talk about mine and Desmond's toxic traits, which we kind of mentioned as a joke in the first episode, but I feel like we need to give you guys some context. So, welcome, Desmond. I'm so happy to have you back here again.
Hi, yeah, thanks. I'm very happy to be back. And yes, probably a good idea to round that out and close that out because it maybe came across as a joke, but there should be context behind that, I think.
Yeah. So, how are you today? How was your day?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Busy day, busy and a long day. A lot of work, a lot of driving around. So it's always good. It's always fun. Got to meet with some clients. Always fun.
That's awesome. You finally listened to our first episode. I think it took
Yeah.
Desmond like, I don't know, 2 weeks to finally listen to it.
Yeah.
And it's the most listened to episode. So like it's one of my favorites. And I think everyone's just gonna love you as much as I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you. Uh, really quickly, I'll just say what took me so long. In tradition, I've never loved hearing my own voice. Like it just, I think everybody's the same way. They hear their voice and they're like, who's that nerd? And then it turns out the nerd is you, right? And because but the irony, and I got over it, is because or sorry, not the irony, but the reality of the situation is that is what I sound like to everybody else. So to everybody else, I sound perfectly fine. That is what I normally sound like. So it's just to me that doesn't sound it. So I got over it,
I
and
hear
and I
you.
didn't mind it.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I still cannot listen to myself or watch myself on video. It is
Right.
what it is. I don't think it's one of those things, it's one of those things that I don't think anyone ever actually gets over.
Yeah, I don't think so
Differently you
either.
sound and like it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I've always been told that I have a white radio voice. That's the exact words that are told to me. So my name doesn't necessarily match my face, I guess, or my voice. So, and I can confirm that that's what I sound like. It was
That
a
is
radio voice for sure.
that is so accurate. White radio voice. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
So in the first episode, you and me cracked a joke, and it was so funny and so authentic, and we shared something that me and you had been laughing at from the day before that we had mentioned in a conversation. And that's our toxic trait. Yours being that when she likes you, you run away because you like them when they don't like you. And my toxic trait being when I like someone, then I'm like, okay, I gotta go and I peace out.
I was right.
So I wanted to give some context and some clarity because this is the work that we do, right? And part of our friendship, as we discussed, is calling each other out on those things, on those patterns that we have been, stuck in for whatever period of time that we can see are not working. And so the most beautiful part about our friendship is that we notice these things and we call each other out on these things and we can laugh about it, we can joke about it, but underneath it all is a lot of work and a lot of conversations and a lot of trying to get past that and find better ways of dealing with it. So I
That's right.
just wanted you to talk about your your kind of reaction to when someone starts to like you and how you're dealing with it and how you push through that urge to want to pull back and why you
Yeah.
have that.
Right. Yeah. Really good question. And something to round back through, I think. So for me, yes, that does happen. It doesn't always happen. What I've realized though is typically it happens when things go too quickly for me, right? So, when somebody starts, well, if I show some interest, because typically it's me who shows interest, right? I'd like to take that role as well as as a man, I like to initiate, like talking to somebody, meeting somebody, whatever. I like to do that. And but I'm traditional in that sense, but I also like to take some time with it and to get to know somebody before we start, either going on a date or becoming more intimate. And what I've realized is that when the other person becomes very, very um, attached or likes me or struggling for the right word, quickly. Originally, I thought it was just like a turnoff for whatever reason. The reason it confuses me or maybe turns me off a little bit is that they don't know anything about me and they've just started to like amplify this liking and I don't understand what that liking is about. It's like we've just had a few conversations, we don't know anything about each other. And then of course if we become intimate quicker than I'm really comfortable to do, that really tends to turn me the other way as well. Because I do need some safety and security in that intimacy. And when they push too hard and too quickly, too fast, and I don't feel like the bond's there yet, then it can really turn things sideways for me. In this case, that's what it did. Sorry, not in this case, but in general, that's what happens. So it's not all the time. It's not like I like somebody, then all of a sudden, as soon as they start to like me, it's like, oh, nope, see you later. It's not like that. It's when it seemingly comes very, very quickly and we haven't spoken that much. We haven't spent time together. And talking on the phone and texting is one thing. Spending time together is really important to me. Because you could really see what people are like and really see if there's the chemistry and the energy and that's what it is for me. So it's not, I don't take it lightly as much as a joke as I made. I don't take it lightly. I know it to be serious. And because I know this about myself, I tend to also realize that maybe if somebody does come at me a little bit more quicker, liking me a little bit more quickly, I will then like say something to them or communicate and give them like the benefit of the doubt on that and just say, hey, like we do need to calm down a little bit or slow down so that we can see if we can form a meaningful relationship. So there is some counteracting. It's not just all, fun and games when it comes to that.
Yeah. So even though the urge may be like, oh my God, I'm uncomfortable, I'm gonna ditch, it's not
Absolutely
so,
the urge.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the urge. And I mean, we talked about comfort versus discomfort and how sometimes we choose the easy path. But I know that you don't choose the easy path. So I know that it's more difficult to actually be vulnerable and to say, hey, like either things are moving too fast, or I need this, or I need that. And having a conversation with someone right off the bat as you're getting to know them can be very intimidating and uncomfortable
Yeah.
because you don't
Yep.
have that safety yet, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And for me, I take finding a partner very seriously. And I'm not like a one night stand type of person, right? That's just not who I am. So I need to really understand that and feel comfortable with somebody. And and I think that's for me, like I don't want to change that about myself. In fact, but I do want to learn to like lean into it a little more. And also, like I said, give people the benefit of the doubt. I overly communicate though. I'll be honest. Like I'm very communicative about like my intentions and if I think things are moving too quickly and the kind of the pace I need, and then I also want to hear what their pace is and what they're comfortable with. And if it aligns, great. And if it doesn't align, then it just doesn't align. Nobody's wrong.
That's right. And this is also another way that you and me are very similar in the sense that like to me, when I look at getting to know someone, texting or even FaceTime, like texting, nothing. Like I get um zero connection out of texting. Like I can't. Even like if I know you and I've spent time with you and we have an established relationship, to text is okay. But to
Yeah,
actually get to know someone, for me, the only way is in person.
yeah,
And that's difficult because so many people are more comfortable, especially with online dating, on like chatting and spending so much time in a situationship where you're getting to know each other through text. But to me, the only way is in person, body language, eye contact, energy, intention, like feeling and getting to
absolutely.
know that person for real. Anything other than that to me is just not real. You're getting
Yeah.
to know some imaginary person that they created.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like I'm the same way. Texting, it is a fine stopgap. We're all busy. People are at work all day. That is kind of what you have. And we should be thankful for that, right? That, a technology that
Mhm.
we weren't using 25 years ago. So that's super great. But for me, it's like once I'm like, okay, I do like this person. I find them attractive. And I can usually figure that out quick. I mean, let's be honest, if I started talking to them, that's probably the reason why. So I probably already got there a little bit. Then I want to meet quick, like, hey, let's go for a coffee or let's spend some time together because you could quickly just get into this texting situationship and then it just fizzles out because there's no chemistry. As much as we like to think that that is communication and it is in a form, it has to be a mix. It should be a portion of the communication that you have, but we thrive on actual connection. I think humans do. I
Right.
know I do. Touching, feeling, seeing, being around,
Right.
that kind of stuff. Engaging conversation, seeing their faces, hearing the tone in the voice. That's important. Phone supplements it too, but nothing beats one-on-one contact.
Yeah. And I think, 80% of our communication is nonverbal. So if you're talking about words, then when you're typing a message, it's only 20%, leaves so much room for interpretation, depending on how you type messages and what mood they're in as they're reading it. So yes, like getting to know someone through text to me is pointless. You can use it as a tool at some point, but just
Yeah.
in the beginning, I'm like, I refuse.
Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't say useless in my case,
Mhm.
like but or pointless. I forget which word you use, but But certainly, like it serves a purpose to a point. And then
Yeah.
again, it's like adjacent to, right? It's
Yeah.
adjacent to. It's all part of it, right? Like communication is a lot of different things. That's one tool we can use. Certainly with my work and lifestyle, like I'm traveling quite a bit. I I can't always jump on the phone. I can't always be in person, and so the texting helps. But yes, it's not.
Yeah.
I can't form a full bond with somebody initially through that text. And that could even be after 3 or 4 weeks. It's still not enough for me. Like I really need to spend time, go on some dates, watch some movies together, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yeah.
feel like I'm way more strict about the texting because you'll hear me and like I'll just book like FaceTimes with people and I'll just have a FaceTime instead of having a text conversation because to
Yeah.
me I just like I can't stand it. And you know me, you and me, like we don't even text.
No,
We
not
pick up
really.
the phone,
No.
right? Like we call each
No.
other, we don't even text.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
how
And it's
much
not
I
like,
hate texting.
yeah. And it's not like we talk, you know what I mean? I think people think we talk every day. That's not the case, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk, once a week. Sometimes we talk once every 3 weeks. Sometimes we
Yeah.
talk a couple of times a week, right? So it's, but yeah, we don't really text unless it's to be like, hey, are you alive?
Yeah,
Um,
literally it's one of those.
yeah.
Um, One more thing I wanted to mention that we talked about when it came to having this urge to withdraw or pull away when you feel someone liking you or being uncomfortable with it. And I think we talked about it having to do with the fact that so much of a man's worth is related to what he does for others
Yeah.
and what you provide for others and what role you play in their life. So when you first meet someone and you're not really providing anything for them, you're not making their life easier yet, you haven't had that opportunity and they really like you, like, does it make you question your value? Because, hey, you're not doing things for them. So, like, why do they like you?
Yeah, there's a bit of that for sure, right? Like, yeah, it's so funny because I spent most of my life building to be a provider, right? Like maybe I think that's just the man thing to do. That's what men do, right? Or that's what we should be doing as far as I'm concerned is like building up a lifestyle where we can provide. And it doesn't have to be financially only. There's lots of different, versions of provision. But I spent a lot of time doing that. And then I also spent a really big chunk of my life really resenting that because I felt like it was taken advantage of, right? Like it was almost expected in certain cases or with certain people.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And it's so interesting because now, like, I'm looking for somebody that doesn't want me for anything, like, in terms of like, they don't want me for money, they don't want me, like, things I can provide, services, whatever. However, when I find that person, all I want to do is that. It's like, I want the person that doesn't want or need that. Or maybe it's just that they don't need it and that makes me want to give it to them like 1,000 times more. So it's like it's an own internal battle for myself all the time, and I also feel like I kind of like to prove that I like, hey, this is the things that I can do, and this is what I do, and this is what my life is like, and all these things, and yet I don't want somebody to want me for those things. It's so weird. Like I'm that's a constant battle, but lately I've learned to kind of lead without assuming I need to do anything. Like I don't need to provide anything. I'm just sort of talking and chatting with people and they chat with me and whatever, right? Whatever comes from that, whatever comes from that. And when I say people, I mean friends, like whatever,
Yeah.
friends, relationship, potential, anything. I just sort of just try to exist and be my authentic self and they'll see what they want to see, right? If there's something for them to see that's compatible, they'll see it. So yeah, but it is like there's a lot of worth for men tied to like what we can provide. And quite frankly, like I think that's the old school sort of mentality. I like that. It's traditional and I like that. I want to take care of whoever I'm with. I want to take care of them, of course. But I have needs to be taken care of too.
Right. Well, exactly. And I think the balance for both of us is, and I'm going to talk about my toxic trait, which relates to this, but I think
Yeah.
the balance is viewing getting to know someone as a tennis game. So then you extend whether it's a conversation or an invitation or something, and then they have to bring it back. They have to return
Mhm.
it, reciprocate it. So it's not just a one-way street where we're offering all these things and providing all these things and they're not reciprocating. Because I think that's been my issue in the past.
Hmm.
And I think you're very masculine, and it's those things that I love about you the most. And for men who are masculine, the way that you know you care about a woman is you want to make her life easier. That
That's right.
is the masculine way that men love at its core. So so then it's like, yes, you want to naturally do and provide all these things, all these comforts in every single sense, but you don't want it to be demanded and expected of you. You want it to come from your pure love
Yeah,
and your desire to do that.
sure. Yeah,
And I think
absolutely.
that's the goal, and finding someone that is not doesn't feel entitled to
Yeah,
have to be provided for in all those ways. It's someone that loves you for you, and that will open the door to you wanting to literally do anything that you can to make their life easier
yeah. Agreed. I
freely,
totally agree. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and the needs that I require to be provided for myself are so minimal, I think, are so minimal, right? Like, and I'm not gonna say what they are,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but like they're very minimal, right? I think
Yeah,
they're just basic human things that people require, right? And as such, like, if you can figure what that is, then you'll get a great life with me.
yeah.
Like
Then
it's
you
just kind of
Desmond will give you the world.
that's right.
Literally.
That's
Yeah.
right. If I care about somebody, of course, that's all I want to do,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you for
So
sharing that. I think that's a lot that's really difficult for some men to accept and to talk about is their need for safety to be able to be vulnerable and get to know someone and their desire to want to make a woman's life easier and take care of her, but out of love and not obligation.
that's right. That's right. I have enough things in my life that are obligatory to me, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't also need like my love to be considered an obligation. I really
Yeah.
don't, right? I've got enough of that in my life. So, and yeah, and I think inherently men are valued in that way, right? Like we're just society values us in a way that we are valued on what we can provide, right? I think, Chris Rock talks about that a little bit, right? Our love is provided on the condition that we can provide something, right?
Yeah.
And that's to me something that only gets counteracted if we actively give ourselves some boundaries as men and like really respect ourselves in that.
Yeah.
And I'm not chasing anybody around. Like not that I haven't in the past. Sure, of course I
Yeah.
have, right? And I'm just like not in that position. I'm not gonna chase anybody. Like I am who I am. I do the things that I do, and people like them or they don't like them, and then that's fine. Again, like I said, it's not wrong. Like as much as I feel like what I'm doing in life is not wrong, they should also feel like however they feel is not wrong. That's
That's
right.
right. I love I've been hearing you say that a lot lately is like even when we've recently talked about something that I disagreed with a person's opinion and you were like whatever they think they're not wrong. Like that's their opinion. And I love that you've been saying that lately. Um
Yeah, it's so I think it's more true than anything. It's probably
yeah,
one of the more commanding things in my life that have really resonated. It's just like, yeah, like I mean, if more of the world, including our politicians, thought that way,
yeah,
I think we'd have a much like easier world. We definitely like we'd give each other the benefit of the doubt,
definitely.
right? It's just like because our opinions aren't wrong. There is a fact somewhere in there that we have to
Yes.
figure out, but our opinion on it isn't wrong. It just is our opinion.
Yeah.
So I try to do that with my daughter all the time, right? It's just like, and I was a learning for me. Okay, you're sad. Okay, I might not understand why she's sad, but she's not wrong for feeling it. Like,
Right.
it's fine. Like that's what you feel. You're not wrong for feeling whatever feeling you have.
Yeah. Definitely not feelings and even opinions. Like it's very interesting to look at it that way. So I really appreciate your perspective when you say that. And when you were
Yeah.
talking about I think you said a comedian said something and I thought about
Yeah, Chris Rock. Yeah,
yeah, Chris Rock, the saying that there's only unconditional love for women, children, and dogs.
that's right.
Um, and another thing that I always think about is they asked men, what is the equivalent to I love you to men? And it's thank you.
Yeah.
And that's so when you talk about like how low the bar is set for you and your needs, that's not like an insult. Like you're not like you're minimizing your needs. It's
Nope.
just a man really has just these basic needs. And one of those needs is to hear a thank you for all the providing and the ways that you provide
Yeah.
voluntarily. is to be recognized and just appreciated.
Yeah.
You will
It's not even all
continue
the time.
doing, yeah, you will continue doing what you're doing as long as
Yeah.
you don't have a thank you, not even an I love you, just a
No.
basic thank you.
Yeah. You
And
know,
that tracks, sorry, with what you said is like you don't expect a lot. Like
I don't
your
expect a lot.
needs
Right.
are definitely and not to minimize them, but they are definitely not some ridiculous expectations that you have of a partner.
Yep. Like a simple thank you once every blue moon would be great, right? At work, I don't require a thank you at all. Like, I like to give thank yous a lot to people that do stuff, but I actually don't require it. That's not the way that I'm wired. Like, if I do a good job or whatever, like, as far as I'm concerned, the thank you is the money. Like, I get paid to do
Yeah,
that job. So I don't require a thank you for at work. And like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong to feel that way because everybody feels the way that they feel about how, and appreciation means something different to everybody. So
exactly.
when I was in like actively managing tons of people, I don't manage anybody now. When I was actively managing tons of people, I learned really quickly that like it's important to ask. How do you want to receive thanks? How do you want to receive feedback? And it's the same for guys. Like, so if somebody's asking me, I just say, the odd thank you once in a while is like more than enough. It's more like acts, right? Like you can tell when somebody's appreciative of the stuff that you do, and you can tell when they're not.
Yeah,
And I can tell really quick when somebody's not appreciative because I just don't do it anymore.
yeah,
It's like sorries, right? Like I'm the quickest person. If you say sorry and you mean it, I'm like, cool, we're good. Like that's it. I truly mean that. When I say that, like I don't want to relive it again in a day, a week, a month. I'm good. If I believe that you said it. But if I start to believe that you don't, like, or I start to understand that you're saying it and then you just keep doing the same shit, then I'm like, then I'm out.
yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
It's
I
just
love
not a,
asking like how do you receive appreciation and how do you like that? I love that.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah. It's
amazing.
it's like the best way to, I think, like, how do you want to receive feedback?
Yeah,
I got to tell you right now, you could tell me whatever you want, the worst feedback ever. Just don't yell it at me and I'll listen to it. But as soon as somebody starts yelling at me about something, I don't listen anymore. I just don't. Like it's not even like out of spite. It's just my brain stops because it's like whatever problem that we had, I probably already know what it is, and I you just need to tell me what it is. Like, and
yeah,
then we can talk about it. But yelling doesn't mean anything. And again, for some people, yelling is very important. So it's important that I appreciate that, hey, that's how they express themselves. Okay, fine,
yeah,
but that's not how I do. So you can express yourself. I'll revisit in a little bit when I can express myself the way that I want to express myself.
exactly. I don't do yelling. I think
That's what the point is.
I think I've in a passionate statement have raised my voice on the phone with you and you were like, "Don't you yell at me."
Yeah, maybe.
I think we've done
Maybe.
that to each other. I think I don't think we've ever had an argument. I don't think we've ever raised our voices.
No.
Um, and yeah,
What's to argue about?
what?
Like to me, I don't know. Like what's to argue about? It's just discussions, right?
Right. Like
Like
there's
what the-
nothing.
love love when people like don't have the same opinion as me because I like to hear, it. And then sometimes I'm like, I'll listen. I'll be like, oh, I've never really considered that.
Right.
So I love spirited debates and about stuff that's relevant in the
Yeah.
world or things that are important. I don't want to talk about what the best pizza topping is, but like maybe,
Oh
but
my God. But I did
also
one time have to listen to you talk about your shirts for
did
an
you?
extended period of time. Your your work shirts. I don't
Oh,
know if you remember. You were telling me
probably.
a
I don't
weird
know. I could have
story
been under the influence at the
about
time. It's hard to say.
your your polo shirts versus your work shirts.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Oh, it was cute.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
It happens. It's a realistic thing for me, okay?
It
It's
is. It was
a
a real
problem I have
issue.
every day.
Listen, it was a real issue at the time. This was a real shirt issue that you were having. So
Everything's the most important important thing in the world at the time for
that's
everyone.
right. It happened.
Clearly, shirts was. Clearly not today. A shirt is not an issue today.
Yeah. So I'm trying to delay the conversation because I'm trying not to talk about my toxic
Yeah,
trait.
we should get to that. Right? Why don't we deal with you for a little bit?
So I'm surprised you haven't been like, okay, enough cat. Let's talk about yours. So mine was that as soon as I like a person, then my instinct is to peace
Yeah.
out, which I don't. So I didn't date for all of 2025. Um, I haven't dated this year, but I've been open to it, and I've gone on like two coffee dates so far. Nothing great. But at the end of 2024, I was having a conversation with someone that I had this off and on thing with, and I realized why I have this like, and I don't like using the word hatred, but this is like just like a repulsion almost to dating. And why everything about it just annoys me. And I realized because I'm a wife at heart, and it's very hard to be a wife out there dating when the whole thing is designed around everyone wanting to go out for drinks and I don't drink, everyone just wanting to go out for dinner and be in like a crowded place or going to the movies where like you're not connecting and I'm all about connection. So to me, it just seems so empty, so pointless that it's just like I hate it. And that's why I'm like, I'm probably going to be alone forever because I can't stand going out on dates. Because what I really want to do is like my best date that I've ever had was um it was just in the summer going for a long like drive in the country with amazing music and watching a sunset. Guys, that's literally like the best date I've ever been on. Number two was horseback riding. But it was like that's what's really important to me. And I have a hard time fitting that into today's idea of dating. And so when I like someone because I'm a wife, just like you want to provide and do all those things, I want to nurture and take care of and like cook for and like do all these feminine things as my way of showing that I care. So that's usually for me like a warning flag that A, I like someone, so I have to pull back from being too affectionate, from being too nurturing, too caring. Because what usually happens, what has happened in the past, is that the person really enjoys it and then it's like it's a split. And then half of it is that they forget to reciprocate, but the other
Yeah.
half is that I'm so nurturing, so all over them that I don't leave room for them to reciprocate. So I
Oh,
kind
okay.
of like shoot myself in the foot. So that's why I've never met someone that has been able to offer me, I guess, the kind of energy and attention that I like to show someone when I'm into them. And so it
Right.
always makes me feel like I'm doing more and I'm showing it more than they are. But part of it is because they don't love the way I love and they don't show it the way that I do. And part of it
Yeah.
is because I don't leave a lot of room. So the urge is to really have to pull back, which is so difficult as like because when I like someone, I just want to take care of them and I want to do all those things and I can't.
Yeah.
And that's
I
just
hear
like
you.
it's torture for me.
Yeah, I hear you. I get it. So, do you think that it like because I mentioned earlier, like I know that I do this and I try to like explain to the person and then kind of pull back and give them the opportunity. Do you think that that's something you're open to doing too, or is it too difficult?
Like having that conversation.
Yeah, when you catch yourself doing it and giving them the opportunity to you explain yourself. It's a little bit different because
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's the opposite issue. So,
Yes, I have briefly brought up the fact that I have a tendency to be very like all in when I like someone, and just like giving the wife experience for someone that I just met, and that I really have to pull back. So like I've kind of had those conversations.
yeah, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
it didn't make a difference,
For
right?
you.
Yeah, like it didn't make a difference in the way the connection went and um and the compatibility things. But I did just say like, oh, I have the urge to like, because when they're like, oh, I have a cold or I'm sick, and I'm like, I want to make you chicken soup and I want to bring it to your house and I want to take care of you. But it's like, I just fucking met you last week. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do that. And I
Yeah.
mean, I want to. I would love to. I would love to be able to do that. But that would be very exhausting and draining on me. So I'd
Yeah.
like to wait at least a little bit more time, um, so that it feels a little more appropriate.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Okay.
who wouldn't want to be taken care of, like, in the first
Sure.
week, right? But obviously,
Yeah. God knows I love it once in a while.
right?
Like when somebody takes care of me, right? It's because it doesn't, you know, actually that's interesting. So for men, because I happen to be one of them, it doesn't happen very often for a lot of us, right? So when we get it, that could be possibly why when you are showing that to people, they absorb it so quickly and they like adapt it so quickly because they're so not used to it.
They're like, oh, this is awesome. And I'm like, oh, and do you want a massage with it too? Like, because you're sick?
Yeah.
let me massage you until you fall asleep.
Right.
Right?
And for them, they're like, we've never had this treatment before. So
Yeah, exactly. And they
why would you
love
not
it.
want it? Why would you not? Like, why would you not
Right.
want it?
I know.
So I
Anyway,
get that.
so what we're saying is we're a work in progress. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really just communicating to your person the things that you're working on, whether you're effective at working at on them or not at the time. It's still important to mention them, um, and just to be true to who you are,
Yeah.
right? And hopefully we can meet. So you know what I think? I have this idealistic idea that I'll meet someone where I won't have to hold back because they will have the capacity to love me and show up for me the way I have. And
Right.
it won't be a either or, it'll be a both. Like we'll both be
Yeah.
able just to show up that way. Um,
Yeah.
and is that realistic? I don't know. Is it ever going to happen? I don't know. I'd like to think that it could.
Uh, Well, the reality is yeah, it should be able to happen, and it will. It's just, when you go a long time where you haven't seen it, and trust me, from somebody that knows that, yeah, when it goes that long, you start to think maybe it can't possibly happen.
Mhm.
But I think I should say to you what you would just say to me was like, but it will happen, right? It does happen. If
Yeah.
you're a good person, it will happen. It's just timing and also being open to receive it at the time and
Right.
not sabotaging yourself, right? And this
Yeah.
is what part of this is trying to make sure we don't sabotage ourselves when a good thing comes along.
Yeah.
So,
That's that's why I'm so grateful to have you to call me out on my shit.
yeah. Yeah, and I think I've done that many times with
Oh
people
yeah.
who
I
who
remember
I'm
one time
dating.
I had this impression of this guy and I said, this is what I feel like he's all about this. And then I told you why I think that. And then I had this like wonderful conversation with you, like with him, and then I told you about it. And I was like, yeah, like he's totally different than what I thought. And then you were like, so you have you stopped looking for reasons not to like him?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely remember. I remember who it was, and I remember
Yeah,
saying those exact words.
yeah.
Right? And I say it with love, but also it was very matter of fact, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, because it's true. Because I know your tendencies, and I know that ultimately I want you to find
yeah,
the whatever is the right person, whatever the right situation is for you. I want that to
yeah.
happen. And sometimes our job for each other is to make sure we don't get in our own way.
Right. And it's finding that line. I think it to me, it's finding the balance between still being true to who I am authentically
Yep.
and being open to love, being open to receiving, but just creating that balance where I'm minimizing the risk of me getting hurt or just kind of taking it slower and giving it a little more time before like I jump in, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is for me. And I feel
Yeah.
like you're similar when it comes to that. Just creating a
Yeah.
little more distance and some time for safety for you to feel like it's okay to then move forward.
Yeah. That is totally where I'm at. And it's definitely not where I've been before. I've usually in the past allowed like I'd follow somebody else's lead and be like, yeah, I feel comfortable with that. And I'm not like that anymore. It's like, no, we both need to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always happen at the same time. In fact, it likely doesn't happen at the same time. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just that it's patience with yourself, but also, boundaries, a new thing for myself that I think I'm pretty good at establishing boundaries now. But you got to be careful because once you start establishing boundaries, you tend to make them really tall.
Yeah.
And you can't always do that. You'll limit yourself a little bit with too much. So it's okay to, like you said, you have your boundaries, but also know that sometimes your boundaries can be a little bit restricting. So once you start to trust somebody a little bit, you can adjust a little bit, right? You can kind of
Right.
drop the guardrail sometimes.
Right. And boundaries can exist for yourself and for that person. So I actually, which is like when I say I have to pull back and I have to do this, that's a boundary I give to myself so that eliminates anything I'm going to give on that person. And I make myself the one that's accountable.
Yeah,
Right. So, I mean, boundaries to be effective, they have to be revisited at all times. Things like
absolutely.
honesty, they don't. Things like respect, they don't. But other things, when it comes to safety and time, it's just really a
Yeah,
matter of, like you said, listening to yourself and revisiting those so that they're
yeah.
still realistic for where
There's
you are.
compromise, right? Like
Exactly.
there's some compromise that has to happen, but that compromise comes with trust and over time. And time's the only thing that can do that work. Like
Yeah.
time is the only thing. Quality time spent with one another is the only way to do that work. You can't force it.
Yeah. Consistency over time, energy, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Well,
right.
thank you for sharing so vulnerably, Des. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you as well.
Yeah, thank you. So until next time.
Until next time.
Okay, take care.
See ya.